now. And I think you are now. Yeah. And let me see if I can put you on the speaker system. Yes, GuidoVanRossum, welcome to Sir Sarah then. Can you say something?
Yes. So glad to be back after all those years. Not in a building I remember, probably.
That's a different place indeed. It's still on the Amsterdam Science Park, not far from the building where you were, I guess. We have about 25 people. I'm not sure you can see all of them. We figured it would be
close enough.
Sorry?
Close enough.
Okay. Good. So we figured it would be a nice introduction if Paul Wielenga, who's over there, if you can wave, and you might be able to remember something about the internship, what it was like, what happened, good stories, things like that, and have a couple of minutes about that. So Paul or Guido?
Guido, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I'm so happy to see you after all those years.
Yes, it must have been something like 35 years that we actually worked together. That's a very long time. And I must say that I was quite surprised and happy to hear that this meeting was going on and you gave a presentation, and that I was invited as a, let's say, a guest without any knowledge of the current status of Python. So it's very good to see you again. Once in a while, I heard from you via the CWI and Walter Leon. You probably remember him from CWI time, and we sometimes discussed what you're doing. And so your name was certainly alive here at Sarah.
That's great. Yeah. I don't know. Do you want to sort of hear my side of the story briefly?
Yes. I can always run away.
Yeah, so I have really good memories of my time at Sarah. The things were different then. I always tell people, oh, my first computer was a mainframe. I learned lots of stuff, not just computer stuff. I remember one time Paul came back from a trip to America with Douglas Hofstadter's book, Gödel Escherbach. That made a big impression on me. I immediately sort of bought my own copy and started reading it. And I've since even once reread it. I'm also incredibly thankful for all the freedom I got while I was working for you, and sort of all the lessons I learned about every aspect of programming and running computer systems. And that I'm also grateful that in the end you gave me a little push out of there so I could graduate and start my career outside sort of my post-academic career.
Great.
That's about what I sort of have to say about that. It's just like, it was a great time and it was super important for me.
I think that's wonderful to hear, Guido. Or Paul, would you want to add something to that?
No, I can remember it was also in the beginning of Sarah, and Guido, you mentioned the mainframes, and at that time the main worry was the stability of the software in the mainframes, operating systems actually, not just the applications, because most of it was at that time written in Fortran, and of course Algol, which came from the Mathematics Center, CWI, these days. And I remember that at that time also your interest was already in languages, and when you went to CWI, you created ABC, I think, if I remember well. And but at Sarah we were doing quite a lot of debugging assembly code from console data. And I remember that that was something that sometimes took us 40 hours a week or even more, just looking into memory dumps of the control data systems. And that was, I think, something that you actually had to really pushed you into programming, but it was very, very low level programming. And it's good that we don't have to do that anymore. And I appreciate all the work you have put in your career in making it possible to have a lot of higher languages that are being used now. And that's I think something that's been very good for the field.
Yes.
Awesome.
Was that a motivation to invent Python, to run away from machine language?
Well, there were a few steps, but sort of all through my career, I've cared about the fate of developers, and I've sort of written a large number of different tools to help developers be more productive and as a result be happier. And Python was just the sort of the last one that suddenly took off more than I could ever have dreamed.
Mm-hmm. Well, it has. Yeah, talking about Python, I think it's now time to, well, we are very happy to have you here. In front of you are all the people who said yes to a question in a survey we sent to all the colleagues at Surf Sarah, and the question was, are you somehow involved in software development? And I think, as you can imagine, a lot of people here are full-time software developers, and a lot of people here now and then have to write a script gluing two systems together, or different backgrounds. I think, is anybody here who never programmed in Python? Can raise your hand? Yeah. So that's definitely on my mark. Paul Wielenga is there. That surprises me a bit. Please take the floor, Guido, with your presentations on async, on typing, and on the retrospective how you came to craft Python 3, which has been a flame war on the internet for ages, I think, before you started it. So that will be interesting.
Okay, give me a moment while I find my mouse and find the right window to share.
Yeah, and I will mute our microphone. So if people cough,